Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom, lived a kind and gentle girl named Cinderella. She had golden hair, bright blue eyes, and the sweetest smile in all the land. Cinderella lived with her loving father in a grand mansion. She was always happy, singing with the birds and caring for all the animals. But one sad day, Cinderella's father married again. Her new stepmother had two daughters, Anastasia and Drizella. They were selfish and unkind. Sadly, Cinderella's dear father passed away. Now the cruel stepmother became the ruler of the house, and Cinderella's life changed forever. From that day on, Cinderella was made to cook, clean, and scrub the floors, while her stepsisters did nothing but eat and sleep. One morning, a royal messenger arrived with exciting news. The prince was holding a grand ball, and every girl in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella begged to go to the ball, but her cruel stepmother gave her impossible chores and said, "You may go only if you finish all your work." Poor Cinderella worked all day, but her stepsisters ruined everything. She ran to the garden and cried. She would miss the ball. Suddenly a magical light appeared, and a kind fairy godmother appeared before Cinderella. Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. The fairy godmother turned a pumpkin into a magnificent golden carriage pulled by 6 white horses. Then, with a wave of her wand, Cinderella's old dress transformed into a stunning silver and blue gown, and on her feet appeared the most beautiful glass slippers. Remember, the magic ends at midnight. When the clock strikes 12, you must return home, said the fairy godmother. Cinderella arrived at the royal palace, and everyone stopped and stared. She was the most beautiful girl anyone had ever seen. The handsome prince saw Cinderella and was immediately enchanted. He walked straight to her and asked, "May I have this dance?" They danced together all evening under the glittering chandeliers. Cinderella felt like she was floating on clouds. It was the most magical night of her life. But then, bong, bong, bong. The clock began to strike midnight. Cinderella panicked. She had to leave. Cinderella ran down the palace stairs as fast as she could, and in her hurry, she lost one of her glass slippers on the steps. As the last bell struck, the carriage turned back into a pumpkin and her gown turned back into her old dress. Only the glass slipper remained. The next morning, the prince searched the entire kingdom with the glass slipper, determined to find the mysterious girl he had fallen in love with. At Cinderella's house, the stepsisters tried to fit into the tiny slipper, but their feet were far too big. Then Cinderella stepped forward quietly. The stepmother tried to stop her, but the prince insisted. Cinderella slipped on the slipper, and it fit perfectly. In a shower of magical sparkles, Cinderella's dress transformed back into her beautiful silver and blue gown. The prince recognized her immediately. The prince asked Cinderella to marry him, and she said yes. The whole kingdom celebrated with joy and happiness. Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after, and Cinderella never forgot to be kind, patient, and brave, because kindness always leads to happiness. Moral kindness and patience will always be rewarded. If you enjoyed Cinderella's magical story, don't forget to subscribe to Ms. Haas's Stories for more amazing stories every day. See you next time.